Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp are back online. This is after going dark for 6 hours yesterday, but a whole lot of questions remain surrounding that massive global outage.
All of this as a Facebook whistleblower is set to testify before Congress later on today. Joining us now to break down the social media blackout is tech expert and host of Strategy Hacker Livestream, Shelly Palmer. Shelly, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, I was reading through the Facebook blog post explaining what happened, and it really sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook. Can you just explain in layman's terms what the heck happened yesterday?
The internet, as you can imagine, is a network of networks. You have a network in your house, your local area network, and you know what happens when the internet goes down. You can't get to anywhere. Well, the internet is made up of a lot of networks, small like yours at home, and big like Facebook's. Facebook's network is gigantic, but it still works like yours. It has to tell the internet that it's there. Yesterday, for reasons that no one quite understands yet and Facebook hasn't disclosed, it went offline as if someone pulled the plug out of the back of their servers. It stopped advertising to the internet that it existed, but not just to the internet, to itself as well. So not only was it not available to you, it wasn't available to anyone, including all the people at Facebook who rely on the lots of little networks that make up the big Facebook network. It literally just stopped telling the internet that it existed. Crazy day because no one, including the people at Facebook, could find Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp.
I was really upset about this, Shelly, because I was supposed to buy a lottery ticket during this time, but I kept refreshing and checking the internet and turning the phone off, turning it on. I was like, what's going on with Instagram?
Well, you know, Bianca, not only did you do that, but everyone tried to, when Facebook went down, everyone tried to get it back up, assuming it was just a glitch. It really stressed the network and took down quite a few other sites as the internet got super stressed. People just constantly trying to hit Facebook servers, but they weren't there to be hit. They weren't advertising where they were, and no one could find it. It's, if you want to read about it, it's called Border Gateway Protocol, and you know that sounds like a technical term because it is, but you'll learn about how the internet works, which is that all these networks must interact with one another. One of the things, Robert and Bianca, that everybody should know is that this had zero to do with user information. Nothing that you have on Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp was even close to compromise. This isn't that kind of mistake. To our knowledge, it wasn't a hack or a sabotage. It seems like a configuration mistake, but it could turn out to be something else. I won't speculate. But what I can tell you is that absolutely zero user data was involved in this. This was just infrastructure configuration that went horribly wrong.
And of course, everyone goes on Twitter to check what the heck is going on.
Ironic, right?
Yeah. So that's where I found out, oh, it's down. Okay, Twitter had the update. But we're talking about the whistleblower as well. We want to get your thoughts on that, going to Congress saying, hey, Facebook knew Instagram was toxic for young girls. We were just talking about this. We know that. We don't need a whistleblower to tell us that. What can they do to fix this? They say, oh, we're going to work on it. But what can they actually do to fix that?
The problem is they can do very little to fix it without just shutting down Facebook. This is a giant problem we've talked about many times. If I say that movie was bad, is it bad good? Or is it bad bad? Well, it depends on my context. Computers don't understand context, so they'd have to kick it up to a person, and that person have to do something about it. Facebook makes money when you're engaged, and bad news and things that make you angry make you more engaged, and the more engaged you are, not only the more money Facebook makes, but the more money the advertisers make. So the advertisers aren't incentivized to have a change, and Facebook isn't. They need to walk this tightrope, and to tell you the truth, we've got to do something about it as society because this is toxic and needs to be pointed out as toxic.
I can imagine there will be some anxious moments at Facebook headquarters in California today. But what's going to come out of this today, Shelly? Is there? I mean, piggybacking on your question, is there going to be any fix here? I mean, what's the end game?
Yeah, I think you're going to get a lot of lip service. It's going to be business as usual because honestly, there isn't a better advertising platform in the world than Facebook. For all the reasons it's terrible, it also works brilliantly for advertisers. And there isn't a replacement. There's not an easy replacement. It's not like you can go to Amazon or Google or something's going to replace Facebook. I think Facebook has to answer for its crimes, in quote, and I think they're going to have to make some changes. I honestly don't suspect it's going to be anything more than what we've heard from them before, which is just we're working on it. We're doing the best we can,
I want to ask
which
you
isn't enough.
I want to ask you a quick question. You know how, in terms of COVID, it's so easy for them to flag something as for more information on COVID. You could just take a picture right outside of anywhere, and there'll be a sign that says COVID or vaccine, and that pop-up will show up on your story. Why would they not do something in terms of like severely edited photos, you know, that distort body image. Can they do something in terms of that?
So, Bianca, it's not just a technical problem. There's also a philosophical issue. Whose worldview do you want imposed on the entire world? And that's a very hard question if you take one extra second to just think about it. It's like, what's worse, letting everyone just speak or having somebody's point of view be imposed on everybody, no matter how good intentioned it is? Mm-hmm. You know, we have freedom of speech in the United States. The government cannot tell you what to say or think. But here you'd be saying, Facebook, tell us what to do or think, what we could say or think. That it's got to be, there's a line to be walked. This is not a soundbite. It can't be a little news moment where we say, we've got the solution. This is incredibly complicated, and people need to understand it's an incredibly complicated problem. And we'll get to it. We will. I think, look, talking to Congress about it, and I don't know if that's going to help or not help, but talking to each other about it will. And what you do on Facebook, if you want Facebook to be better, be kinder on Facebook. Be kinder on Instagram. Bully a little less. You'll be amazed at how much better it'll get.
Very good advice, Shelly.
Words we needed this morning. Thanks, Shel.